stop making this political. It is not about you, President Trump. You are our president. Please start acting like it. Show some class. Show some real leadership. Show that you actually care about the people other than yourself. I voted for you, but your behavior on this issue has been a national embarrassment.
Go ahead. Incriminating in the file,
I want to address Marjorie Taylor Greene, Thomas Massey, and Rokana. I want to express my gratitude for all three of you, and I know, Rokana, we spoke earlier. This is an incredible thing that I'm watching as a Republican, and this is non-political, but for you to go against your own party and to be ostracized, there's no place for political violence, there's no place for intimidation, and I can say firsthand, stepping out against Epstein and his crimes against children, we have all experienced that ourselves. So for you to knowingly put yourselves at risk and put your career at risk is unbelievable to watch, and we are so grateful. I also want to make a proposition for Marjorie Taylor Greene, because you've been an advocate for this. If you decide to read those names on the House floor for immunity, I will be more than happy, no security needed. I will stand beside you. I will hold your hand. I will hold your coat in solidarity with you. And on top of that, I did talk to Jayapal, who said she would be more than happy to read those names too on the floor with all of us. It's time that we put the political agendas and party affiliations to the side. This is a human issue. This is about children. There is no place in society for exploitation, sexual crimes, or exploitation of women in society. There's no room for it, guys. We're not having it. And to the President of the United States of America, who is not here today, I want to send a clear message to you. While I do understand that your position has changed on the Epstein files, and I'm grateful that you have pledged to sign this bill, I can't help to be skeptical of what the agenda is. So, with that being said, I want to relay this message to you. I am traumatized. I am not stupid. I am traumatized. I am not stupid. You have put us through so much stress, the lockdowns, the halt of these procedures that were supposed to have happened 50 days ago. The Adelita Grijalva who waited to get sworn in, and then get upset when your own party goes against you because what is being done is wrong. It's not right. For your own self-serving purposes, this is America. This is land of the free. Land of the free. In 1863, we have a woman on top of the Capitol building represent freedom. I do not feel free today. I don't know if the women behind me feel free today. So I am begging every member of Congress, every representative, to step up and choose the chaos, choose the survivors, choose the children, protect the children, all children. You protect all of us equally.
Called a traitor by a man that I fought for 6 years for. And I gave him my loyalty for free. I won my first election without his endorsement, beating 8 men in a primary. And I've never owed him anything, but I fought for him for the policies and for America first. And he called me a traitor for standing with these women and refusing to take my name off the discharge petition. Let me tell you what a traitor is. A traitor is an American that serves foreign countries and themselves. A patriot is an American that serves the United States of America and Americans like the women standing behind me. And I want to tell you that this only became possible today because the American people, whom we serve as representatives here in Congress, demanded that this vote happen, and they put more pressure on every single elected politician in this city than has ever been put on them. And today you are going to see probably a unanimous vote in the House to release the Epstein files, but the real fight will happen after that. While I want to see every single name released so that these women don't have to live in fear and intimidation, which is something I've had a small taste of in just the past few days, just a small taste. They've been living it for years. But the real test will be, will the Department of Justice release the files? Or will it all remain tied up in investigations? Will the CIA release the files? Will a judge in New York release the information? That's information that needs to come out. And will the list of names that these women privately hold, and they hold it because of their fear in their heart of what would happen to them if they release it on their own, will that list of names come out? That's the real test. So I want to thank Thomas Massie and Ro Khanna for your bravery in doing something that is much needed in America, crossing the political aisle that has become bigger than the Grand Canyon in America. But these men crossed that aisle on behalf of these women. And that is more of what is needed today in America than ever in our history.
The number one offender type is biological fathers, but by far it is being done by middle-aged Caucasian men. Many, over half of them, college graduates. It's time that we call them out. We can't stand by and stand back. Like, we have to stand up. Not only are we not doing our job as men, it's actually the opposite. Instead of being defenders and protectors of our families, we're hurting and abusing.
Thank you, Tim Tebow. Tim Tebow is right. And so why isn't conservative media exploiting this shit? Fuck you, conservative media. And anyone who calls me a race baiter and a racist for saying these things, are you calling Tim Tebow the same shit? Because someone like me, a journalist, points it out, it can't be right, it can't be accurate, that I must have an agenda. My only agenda is that as a survivor, and this shit needs to stop. And the truth is, it's right. It's conservative people, men in the MAGA orbit, white men who have close proximity to children. He says that the men consuming child sexual abuse material in this country are overwhelmingly middle-aged white men, educated white men, employed white men, men with families, men who look normal, men who look stable, men who live in the suburbs and coach Little League. But they don't fit the right wing's description. They're not black, they're not Latino, they're not immigrants, they're not drag queen, they're not trans, they're not gay. And this whole Epstein thing is like, it just gets me because now you're protecting other people.
There is some new reporting at this point about Speaker Johnson, Anna, because our team's understanding, according to members leaving a morning huddle that Republicans do when they're back in town, the Speaker is apparently going to vote for this discharge petition. That's not to say that we won't hear him, and I imagine in a few minutes he'll begin talking about this, that he still has concerns around privacy and the way that things are redacted in the release of these files, according to the way that this discharge petition and bill is written.
I'm going to vote to move this forward. I think it could be close to a unanimous vote because everybody here, all the Republicans, want to go on record to show they're for maximum transparency, but they also want to note that we're demanding that this stuff get corrected before it is ever moves through the process and is completed.
But I think it's important to note that many of the victims who we heard speak this morning, the survivors have said that they are perfectly comfortable with the way that this bill is written. That's not to say that others of them who aren't public don't have those concerns, but I would say by and large, you heard Thomas Massie say that the idea of privacy concerns is a red herring.
Right now, we now know what Republicans want in exchange for an extension of the Affordable Care Act tax credit and its abortion restrictions. Republicans are demanding in the United States Senate for extreme abortion restrictions to restrict federal funds for abortions and also the restriction of more reproductive rights for women across America. And in exchange, they'll consider voting for Affordable Care Act tax credrit extensions.
Sir, if there's nothing incriminating in the file, sir, why not saying
Congresswoman Green, you raised the question of whether or not the Justice Department will actually release these files. Do you take the president at his word when he says he's going to sign this bill, and do you have confidence that these files will actually be released?
I only take people's actions seriously, no longer words.
And what do you think the president's actions?
And I'll tell you, because I wasn't a Johnny-come-lately to the MAGA train. I was day one 2015, and there's a big difference in those Americans and those that decided to support President Trump later on. And I'll tell you right now, this has been one of the most destructive things to MAGA, is watching the man that we supported early on, 3 elections, for people that stood hours, slept in their cars to go to rallies, have fought for truth and transparency, and to hold what we consider a corrupt government accountable. Watching this actually turn into a fight has ripped MAGA apart. And the only thing that will speak to the powerful, courageous women behind me is when action is actually taken to release these files, and the American people won't tolerate any other bullshit. That's where we are today. Thank you.
The proof MAGA is turning on Trump.
MAGA hats are off. America First hats are on. Burn, baby, burn. And this is a great representation of what's left of MAGA.
Trump 2020 hat. And if you're just going to be owned by the Jews and go against everybody that actually is America First
And cover for pedophiles.
Then you can fuck off, Trump. You're losing people quick. Throw him in there. Piece of shit.
Fuck you!
You sure as fuck aren't making America proud right now. And for the record, we stand with MTG and Massey.
His base is sick and tired of his lies. They're sick and tired of him not delivering on his promises. They're tired of him selling out our country to foreign countries like Saudi Arabia. They're tired of him not releasing the Epstein files. They're tired of paying a shit ton of money for everyday goods. They're fed up. They're done. They're over it. This Epstein release was the final straw.
Sir, if there's nothing incriminating in the file, sir, why not take us in?
So can I just say something? If I am a member of the press pool speaking to the president, and I am standing there in that press pool, and the president puts his finger in a female reporter's face and tells her, "Quiet, piggy," I am not standing there and saying nothing in that situation. I am not tolerating that. I am either cursing him out to his face, I know, he's the president, whatever, but there's a moment where you have to be willing to lose your job. Or at the very least, I am walking out and refusing to do more press conferences until he stops abusing women. What the fuck, you guys? Are we putting up with this now? This is going to become normal? This is not normal. It's not tolerable. It is not tolerable behavior by anybody, let alone the President of the United States. Why is the press not refusing to cover him? Why are they not saying we will not work with a person who is abusive to members of our press corps? You guys, I'm sorry, but I am not seeing allyship here. I don't know what happened. This is just being reported by people now. He called her piggy. He put his finger in her face. That's abuse. That's threatening behavior. It's derogatory language. It's disgusting. If you saw a man speaking to a woman that way on the street, you'd say something. Why are you not saying something to the President of the United States? Because you're afraid of him? What's he going to do? Put you in jail for using words? You're journalists. This is an outrageous story. Why did it have to be broken by People magazine? This is unacceptable, you guys. America, have some fucking standards for your president. This is not acceptable. Abusing women publicly in a press corps is not acceptable. And if nobody else in the press will say it, I will say it. And I'm not even in the press. Come on, you guys. What the fuck? This makes me really angry, and it should make everybody really angry. And we should demand better from our elected representatives, from our president, and from everyone in the press corps who stood there and didn't say anything. Shameful.
protests starting, big ones in Charlotte, North Carolina, as Trump's immigration agents moved to Charlotte for some reason. Protests in Charlotte this weekend, also in Asheville, North Carolina, and in Raleigh, North Carolina, the state capital. Big protests in both of those places. People coming out all over the state. Advocates for immigrants in North Carolina have created already this online map showing where federal immigration agents are known to be operating in North Carolina. But Trump's agents, they attacked L.A. first, and L.A. stood up against them. Their pushback in L.A. helped Chicago fine-tune its own response when Trump next attacked Chicago. The pushback in Chicago is now helping Charlotte scale up its own response now that Trump is attacking there. But again, never underestimate just how dumb they can be, especially when it comes to their lawyering, when it comes to the basic legal reasoning and defense of their radical actions, right? Trump's new attack on Charlotte, North Carolina, for example, they say it's not being led by ICE, it's being led by CBP, by Customs and Border Patrol. Now, by CBP's own admission, they're only supposed to be operating within 100 miles of the U.S. border. Charlotte, North Carolina is way more than 100 miles from any border. Charlotte, North Carolina is more than 170 miles even from the coast. Today, you might have seen footage of people protesting in Washington, D.C., right around the White House. In fact, they wrapped the White House in yellow crime scene tape today. This protest today in D.C. was under the banner of Trump must go. And I got to tell you, it was, I think, intended to be a bit of a warm-up for what they're expecting later on this week. They're expecting to be large numbers of people protesting in Washington later on this week. And that's technically interesting because unlike the No Kings events and the hands-off protests and the 50-51 events of various stripes, which have really deliberately been decentralized, they've happened all over the place, all 50 states, everywhere, all at once. This week, organizers are asking people to come to Washington, to come on Thursday to lobby Congress. They say they want Congress to impeach, convict, and remove Trump from office. They're expecting it to be a really large lobby day on Thursday in Washington. And then on Saturday, one big central protest in Washington at the Lincoln Memorial with that same demand to impeach him, convict him, and remove him from office. Do you know the band, the Dropkick Murphys, legendary Boston band? The Dropkick Murphys are not shipping up to Boston. They are going to be shipping down to D.C. to basically headline that protest at the Lincoln Memorial this Saturday at noon, which means it should at least be loud.
Look at this picture. I found it off of a Legacy Media news website, and the caption said, Donald Trump returns to White House exhausted. They looked at this picture, and what they saw was an exhausted Donald Trump. You know what I see when I look at this picture? Do you see what I see? Right behind him, the flag is literally on the ground. The United States flag on the flagpole at the White House is on the ground. And I cannot overstate the importance of this photo because this exemplifies everything about the Trump regime and about MAGA. These guys burn the Constitution and pretend to be patriots. These guys burn the Constitution and pretend that they love the flag. If they cared about the flag, it wouldn't be laying on the fucking ground. That is as disrespectful as it comes to the flag. As an Army veteran, I know there's protocols in how you deal with the flag. And you never, ever, and I mean ever, let the flag touch the ground. But this fake-ass patriot president walked right past that fucking flag and didn't give a shit. And the people that work for him clearly didn't give a shit. Even when you're taking the flag off the flagpole, it should never touch the fucking ground. And this one's literally just laying there. These guys will literally burn the Constitution and call themselves patriots. That is everything wrong with America. And Legacy Media talking about how Trump's so exhausted. He's not exhausted. He's 80 fucking years old. He's a piece of shit. He fucking eats like shit. He's got fucking venous thrombosis. He's got shit health. And he needs to fucking go retire somewhere and stop destroying our fucking country. The reason independent media like myself exists is because Legacy Media is failing us to a level that cannot be properly explained.
It's time for the Trucker John Livestream. Gonna be a good time. Oh yeah. The Trucker John Livestream. Come along for a good time. It's a good time, good time, good time, good time. Trucker John Livestream. It's gonna be a good time. Gonna be the time of your life. Gonna talk some shit. Hush your mouth. Gonna talk a little smack. Gonna talk whatever comes of it. You're gonna always wanna come back. Well, yeah, it's the Trucker John Livestream. He's the biggest, baddest, funniest mother you've ever seen. Watch your mouth, he's headed south. Not even sure what that means, but if it's one thing I know, the Trucker John Livestream is the best thing you've ever seen.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the moment you've been waiting for. Trucker John. Darn it.
Good morning. I was trying to wolf down my little sandwich there. Testing, testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. I go on. Test, test, test. Good morning. All right. It's working. Sorry for being late. You know, I got up at about 6 this morning. That's 3 hours before the scheduled showtime here. And I was just going through so many, there were just so much videos and so much stuff was going through, man. I couldn't believe the time, how it just flies. And I didn't eat any breakfast. So while the intro was playing, I thought, I got 22 minutes and or whatever it is, 21 minutes and change. I got time, so I cooked up some bacon, cooked up some eggs, and I got a hamburger bun here. I made myself my own little bacon and egg sandwich and some coffee. And this is how close I came to getting it done on time. So you guys are going to have to watch me eat this because I'm hungry and I don't want to eat this cold. And this is like literally fresh, hot off the stove. It's still hot. It's pretty good, if I do say so myself. All right, guys, good morning. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being patient. We got 34 watching, only 29 thumbs up, so we are acting a little bit skeevy, a little skeevy this morning, a little Republican-ish. So with that deficit, so we need to get to at least a balanced budget. That would be nice if we could do that. Well, let me go over to all messages. I recommend that. I highly recommend it. Now, I did see, it won't let me go back to the top, but I saw Sandy Foltz in there, and I think Paul Burrows, and I don't know. Well, let me go back to the top now. So, but thanks everyone for being here. I do appreciate it. I do see Josh Sees. Always good to see Josh Sees. Mr. Spock is here. Live long and prosper. Nola Carnes is here. Stephanie B. Hello, Stephanie B. Good to see you. Anna Moore is here. Michelle is here. Michelle says Trump is meeting with Saudi Arabia again today. DPD 5844 says, I'm not a violent person, but if this motherfucker referred to me as piggy or point his finger on my face, that would be the last thing he would ever do, period. Yeah, it's pretty astounding, right? And I know we always play this what if game. It gets a little frustrating. But could you imagine if Barack Obama did that? Or Joe Biden or any Democrat? Pointed at not just a reporter, but a female reporter. Because we see how Trump, he's always just like, you can tell he hates the women reporters. And he's talked down to them, ever since his first presidency. He's always talked really shitty to the female reporters. But that's the worst. I think this is the worst I've seen it. Where he called her a piggy. He said, "Shut up, piggy," right? But could you imagine if Barack Obama did that or Joe Biden? We would never hear the end of it. It would be on it would be literally on a 24/7 loop, never ending. Sean Hannity would be in a total fucking conniption fit. It would be the end of the world. This would be the end of the world if Joe Biden or Barack Obama did that. It would literally be the end of the fucking world to them. They would be calling for Biden or Obama to be taken out and shot. That they would, I have no doubt that would be their response. But Trump, it's barely gotten anything. I mean, it came out. Some people posted it, and it was out, and it was gone. Barely any outcry whatsoever. That's why I posted that post with Jess Craven, the woman who was saying, if she was there, she would have, risked her job and telling him off. Catherine Real Health Talk is here. Catherine Real Health Talk 910 says, if any Republicans become anti-pedophiles versus the pro-pedophiles, it's only because it doesn't serve them at the moment. But I will say, yeah, I agree. MTG, she's not to be trusted. It's not like she's, completely, just come over to our side or whatever. But I will say that doesn't she seem, there's something about her now when she talks about this particular issue of signing the dispatch notice and talking about these victims and the survivors and talking about this whole Epstein issue. There's something, she has a glow about her. She seems like she's at peace. There's something about her that she seems different to me when she talks about this issue. Because all the other times I remember seeing her, she seems just hateful and ugly. Like ugly, it just made her ugly. Her ugly insides made her ugly on the outside. But now I actually think she looks kind of attractive. And I don't, you guys are going to get skeeved out, but I mean, there's a glow about her. There's a peaceful, it's like she has this peace of mind in this issue because she knows that this actually is a just cause. This is a that she's fighting for. Maybe all the other shit she knew was bullshit, and she was just doing it to get clicks and to get votes and to get campaign fundraising and to be in Trump's favor, all that shit. But this particular issue, there's something about her that she just looks like she is content and happy and has this kind of, like I say, peace of mind or something about it. Hey, John Glad. Always glad to see John Glad in the old driver's zone. Anna Moore says MTG sounds betrayed. Oh, yeah. Yeah. She says she's getting death threats. Marsha Jones is here. Good to see Marsha. There's Jolie. We got Jolie helping out there in the chat. Making sure you guys are, minding your P's and Q's. All right. Pretty much done with the sandwich. You guys don't have to watch me eat anymore. David Dog, the big dog, is here. Yeah, David Dog never touched the ground. That's about the flag. I mean, we were all taught that, right? In elementary school. At least I was. And we had, there were kids that were on the, I don't know, you call it the color guard or whatever, but we had kids that would, in our school, would put the flag out every morning and would take it down in the evening and or after school. And we were taught how to fold the flag, and we were taught it never touches the ground. Now I don't know if this is a misnomer, but when I remember always hearing that if the flag touches the ground, you have to dispose of it, and the proper way of disposing of the flag is burning the flag. We were taught that's. I remember being taught that shit. Now I don't know if the burning a flag, if the school taught us that, or if that was just something we heard, but we were taught that the flag should never, ever, ever touch the ground in fucking elementary school. Then we have a fucking White House that apparently has a staff that doesn't give a fuck. And Donald Trump is, they say the fish rots from the head down. Trump's the head. All right. Let me fill that blank spot. I didn't find too many memes. I was so busy cutting video. But I have this one. I think I saw this last night. I thought it was kind of, it's sort of the height of irony if you look at who that is attributed to. Here's a quote. It says, "It's important to vote in the midterms. If Democrats win, President Trump will be impeached." And that is from Caroline Leavitt. So yes, ladies and gentlemen, let's all make sure we vote in the midterms. And let's let that second part come true. And impeach the motherfucker. I say, let's do it. I'm all for it. I'm all for the impeachment. Mr. Spock from the bunker. And we got sandwich. It was pretty good. Normally I would put I would cook some hash browns with it, but I didn't feel like I had the time. I didn't throw anything extra. It was just a kind of an egg, an omelet, kind of folded over a couple times, and some bacon, on a hamburger bun, a toasted hamburger bun, slathered in butter. Oh yeah, me and Trumpy. We are health nuts. Me and old Donald. Christina says you're not late. You were on time. Okay, if you say so. If you say so, thank you. Thank you very much. I'm just glad you guys were hanging out and still in here. And I have a theory. I have a theory that I could probably just turn this broadcast on, and never even I could just leave the house, and you guys would probably just hang out and chat. I could have it on 24 hours probably, and you guys would be. Which is, I mean, the point is you don't. I don't think I'm not needed. I don't think I'm really needed for this channel. The channel is you guys. You guys. Maybe I'll do that sometime. Maybe I'll just leave the thing on, and you guys can just. I know sometimes it has been left on like accidentally. For one time, I think 7 or 8 hours. I think, or whatever it was. It's one of my most viewed live streams, I think. And I wasn't even on it. I mean, I ended the show. I thought the show was over, and for some reason it didn't end. And you guys were in here talking away for like 7 hours. Damon Dog says, Brooklyn SJU, I deleted the blue dye from the Amazon cart the other day. But at those temps, may have blue skin. Let's see here. Somebody says, looks like you almost burned your buns. I put it in the toaster, so it kind of, got a little hot on the side there, I guess. Because the buns, my bun, it's a toaster, and it's not really made for hamburger buns, so it's kind of a tight fit. But it was good. Nola Carter says, that's okay, DJ. We're used to you eating in front of us. And that goes way back, actually. I mean, way back to the early days when I was in the truck, and I was quite often eating some sort of a breakfast biscuit sandwich as we started going. Josh says, we could talk about TJ's buns today. Bun talk here on the Truckers Online channel. Thank you very much. David Dog says, add McD's to the boycott list if you don't eat there anyway. And today I did not go to McDonald's. Well, I don't really go to McDonald's because there's not one nearby. But today that was home cooked. My own little home cooked breakfast sandwich. All I needed was some cheese, but I ran out of cheese. So. Got to do shopping again already. Seems like I'm always doing shopping, grocery shopping. And it's just me. Just imagine if I was like a family, well, I don't have to imagine. I went through that with my kids and everything, but if I had 2 kids to still feed the mouths of, man, that's why we had Costco memberships and Sam's Club memberships, because we were buying tons of food back then. Anyhow, Sandy says I was first in the chat. I did see you, Sandy. I saw you in there, and thanks for coming on in. David Dog says I made bacon burgers last night. Just ate the last one for breakfast. Yummy. Stephanie B2. I just had both hips replaced, and now I have to have surgery for a trigger finger. When does this end getting well? Getting old sucks. Getting old does suck. I will be the first to admit that. But what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? It is what it is. So all we can do is the best we can do, and deal with it, and try to whatever we can do to slow down the aging process as best we can. Is basically all we can do, I guess. Marshall Jones says they broke the internet when he wore a tan suit. Right. He wore a tan suit, and oh my God. Can you imagine if he had said, shut up, piggy? I kind of think they would have just spontaneously combusted, or heads would have literally exploded, which might have been probably a good thing, but anyhow. MJ Daniel up there in Washington State says MSNBC and CNN are showing the meat right now. Fucking person that murdered an American reporter and probably funded 9/11. I mean 9/11. I don't know why I did that. 9/11 as well. Fuck DJT. Let's see if I can get anything live on here. I'm just on the YouTube channel. Here's PBS. They got a live feed from inside the Capitol building there. It looks like the old lady that Virginia Fox. I think she was just speaking. A real see you next Tuesday, right? Squirrel Girl with a $2 super chat. Yippee! Thank you so much, Squirrel Girl. Appreciate you, and I'm going to give you a thumbs up and a heart. Squirrel Girl says, saying hi to everyone, listening, not feeling well. Oh, Squirrel, I hope you feel better. Lay down and rest and listen to the what is it? I don't know. I forget the expression. Some kind of tones. I totally blew it. But anyhow, thank you so much. Thank you so much for the $2 super chat. I appreciate it. Stephanie B2 made Sloppy Joe's last night. Susie Jones says, I'm listening to the intro rolling around. I'll catch up with you guys when I get back home. Had to go to the pharmacy and Whole Foods. Paul Burrows had an elk burger and rice for Din Din. That sounds good. I think I had an elk burger somewhere. Some restaurant was selling elk burgers, on my travels as a truck driver. Christina Weibel says, so my dad's in the house watching CNN on his TV. He's got the Saudi King and the Oval Awful. Remember Khashoggi. Right. See, Joe Biden wouldn't have that guy in the office. Joe Biden even said, this guy's a fucking murderer. Oh, Jim Jordan is speaking right now. Jim, I see nothing, Jordan. Let's see. I think this is live. It says it's live.
Pursuant to the rule, the gentleman from Ohio, Mr. Jordan, and the gentleman from Maryland, Mr. Raskin, each will control 20 minutes. The chair recognizes the gentleman from Ohio.
Mr. Speaker, I ask unanimous consent that all members have 5 legislative days in which to revise and extend their remarks and to insert extraneous material on.
I don't know if I want to listen to this or not.
With that.
I can't stand his voice. Josh, did you put cheese on? I did not. I ran out of cheese. I just mentioned that, but I know you typed that before I mentioned it, so I'll allow it. Let's see. David Dog says my friend Jim of the Base had his hip surgery yesterday. Hope he's doing well. He sent me an awesome banner he made. I'll be taking it to DC with me. Oh, nice. Seti Fold said my son called me last night. Great. That's good news because I'm glad you guys are communicating. Seemed like maybe there was a little communication issue there. So I'm glad he called you. Christina Weibel says most women are sexual assault survivors. Yeah, it's amazing. Like as a guy, how much we don't really think about that. But then I hear these stories and I hear statistics, and it's like almost every woman has faced something. Maybe not rape or anything like that, but have had some sort of, if not a sexual assault, some sort of sexual harassment. It's just never ending. It's just, I can only imagine. I'm envious. No, I should not have said that. Christina Weibel, I agree. John, guess that was something I was saying earlier. But I'm glad you agree with me. It's good when people agree with you. I like it when people agree with me. Jolie says, "Yep, that definitely skeeved me out." Now I forget what I said. I remember saying that it was going to skeeve you out, and I forget what it was that I said was going to skeeve you out. See, I don't remember. I remember saying probably going to skeeve you out, but I don't remember what it was. Oh boy. Oh boy. Sandy Folds, TJ, do you like turkey bacon? I don't know if I've even ever had turkey bacon, to tell the truth. I probably at some point in my life I probably tried it. I don't know. I like just good old fashioned piggy bacon, pork bacon. And I'm getting really good at cooking it. More and more. Cooking it just right, so it just comes out just perfect. And I'm not doing that microwave shit that you guys said to do. The microwave comes out shitty. I'm cooking it in my pan. Like it's meant to be. Like a cowboy. Paul Burrows, I'm literally... Oh, this is Brooklyn saying Paul Burrows. I'm literally sitting here drinking coffee, laughing out loud. Brooklyn SJU! AKA Trixie LaRue, you were here. Thanks for being here. I appreciate you. I'm not sure if I gave you a proper greeting or not. Earlier. Christina Weibel says, if MTG wants to drop names on the House floor, she's got the support of the survivors. Absolutely. One lady said she'd hold her hand. She'll hold her coat. You know? MJ Daniel, American Flag Protocol, learned that early in life. Like I said, yeah, I learned that in fucking first fucking grade, man. And that's someone in the Trump administration, the staff around the White House there, that either A, doesn't give a fuck because they're anti-American, or B, they're sending out a distress call. You know, that's their secret way of a distress call. I know this distress would be an upside down flag, but you know, sometimes you got to do what you got to do. DPD 5844 says, what's even more appalling is the male reporter who just stood there and did nothing. Kind of what Jess Craven was alluding to in my intro. I guess he doesn't have a mother, sister, wife, or girlfriend. Shame on him. I feel bad for any woman in his orbit. Yeah. Donald Trump hates women. He only sees them as just being a thing, a plaything for his gratification. You know, that's it. Brooklyn SJU says, I don't trust MTG. She sees this as an opportunity to start her own party. Again, like I said, I don't trust her. I mean, I'm not ready to anoint her a sainthood or anything like that. But I do appreciate her stance on this issue of the Epstein files, and I do think it's you can tell when she's doing something that's actually good. She looks good. She looks better. She looks healthier. She looks happier. When she's chasing down David Hogg, who was a school shooting victim, and saying awful things to him, she looks pretty fucking. She looks awful. When she was doing all her, just saying all these awful maggoty things, you could see the hate coursing through her veins. Just pure hatred. I think pure hatred just makes you look ugly. And I'm not saying this I'm not trying to make this a thing about looks, but I'm making a thing about true beauty and true where it comes from. It comes from the inside, and it's and sometimes that sounds cliche, right? But I think we're kind of seeing it live out here in MTG with when she's talking about this subject. She just looks completely different to me. She looks like a completely different person. in a good way. You know, maybe that should be a lesson to her, and maybe to all of us. If we want to look good, or look better, or feel better, then maybe not be filled with hatred and hateful things and hateful messages, hateful policies, hateful ideology. You know, maybe so. We got 42 watching, only 34 thumbs ups. Please hit that thumbs up if you would. I really hate being. Maybe that's the skeeve thing. We're skeevy. I hate the skeeviness of this, of operating like skeevy Republicans right now with a big old deficit. So let's be more democratic-like and get to at least a balanced budget. If you would, that would be great. Hit that thumbs up. Share. Hit the share button also. I think we are one subscriber away from 4,200 right now. We're at 4,199. So one away from the big 4,200. So hit that share button. I know you guys know people. Like I keep saying, I don't know why I don't have 1,500 sparklers in here right now. Because every single one of you should be sharing this to all your sparkler friends. We should have 1,500, 2,000 sparklers sitting in here right now. You can all talk amongst yourselves. And you don't even need me. Kristen Weibel says, if Dems win, he will be impeached on treason. Like I said, I had the meme yesterday about the treason. If they get him on treason, that means Vance goes too, and all of his cabinet members, they all go. You know, all that shit, it's gone. Well, the cabinet ministers would be gone no matter what, but that way we don't have to worry about a Vance presidency. We can get rid of the both of them. So we better have a good Speaker of the House, which will probably be Hakeem Jeffries. So if you guys are okay with a President Jeffries, I have no problem with it myself. I mean, again, I've said this before. As flawed, and I know the purity police will, the I had it ladies, for instance, will bash Hakeem Jeffries and say these, he takes APAC and he, all this blah blah blah. I really don't. I mean, I'm not saying I don't care about those issues, but if it came down to we're going to impeach Trump for treason and we can get rid of Trump and Vance in one fell swoop, I would much rather have a Hakeem Jeffries in there than either Trump or Vance or anyone with an R next to their name. Hakeem Jeffries is still better than anyone with an R next to their name. So just think if AOC was Speaker of the House and we impeached Trump for treason and then he got convicted and removed. Wouldn't that be something? Wouldn't that be something? Now, I don't want to get too excited because I don't even know if that shit's even true. I mean, I know you guys were getting out your pocket constitutions yesterday and saying, yeah, that's it, that's true, or whatever. But I've had the football pulled away from me so many times that I'm really I'm a little shaky. I'm a little shaky on getting too excited about things. But we'll just have to take one step at a time. And the first step is winning back Congress in the next year's midterm congressional elections, and doing so in a big way, a big wave, a big blue wave. Josh says, yeah, put that theme song on loop. Which theme song? My theme song? Mine. Jolie says Trump saying he will sign the bill to release the Epstein files if it passes just means they're finally finished redacting them. If they do that, if they redact the perpetrators, I guess we call it, names, then the survivors are going to come out with their list. DBD5844 says, if anyone lives in Alabama, donate and vote for Andrew Sneed. He's running for a congressional seat, and get this, he is an actual plumber. So let's see what we can do to get him elected. That would be Andrew the plumber instead of Joe the plumber, who has passed away, right? Didn't Joe the plumber die of COVID or something? Talk about poetic justice. But yeah, we're going to vote for Andrew Sneed, Andrew the plumber. They're in Alabama. Thanks for getting that out there, DPD. Deep red Alabama, which it shouldn't be. Those southern states shouldn't be so ruby red. Just think of if the South could turn blue, and start being run, and actually governed by Democrats, how much their quality of life would improve, almost overnight, probably. Josh says, see, I knew something got stuck in the toaster. Well, it didn't get stuck in the toaster. It really didn't get stuck. It's just that it's just a wider piece of bread than a regular toast. So I guess it got close to the burners, but it wasn't burnt. I know you guys are talking about it being burnt. It really wasn't burnt. Danny Pomeroy, hey Danny, good to see you. Danny says to hit thumbs up or number 2. Oh, he was number 32. Thank you, Danny Pomeroy, for the thumbs ups and for being here, hanging out. Petrazi 120 or 1920 says, I bought 2 bags of groceries and it was $40. Prices are getting higher. I was gonna say that seems cheap for 2 bags. I guess it depends on the size of the bags and what's in the bags. What's in the bags? Michelle, yes, getting old hurts. It's not just that it hurts. I think it sucks. I just think it outright sucks. But like I said, that's life. That's the way it is, and that if nothing else, it should teach us to, I guess, not waste time and to get things done while we have the physical ability to do them, physical and mental ability to do them. We have a finite amount of time, and to do what we need to do. I guess that's the lesson of aging. Julie says that's what his base loves most about him. He hates women and brown people. Yeah, that was probably a big draw. But I don't. But what about all the MAGA women? I guess there's self-hating women. I guess because there's a lot of MAGA women, man. 72. I missed it. Who did he say shut up, Piggy? To? It was a reporter on his airplane. You know how he does those things where he sticks his head out the door, and they have a little gaggle there of of reporters. It was to one of the reporters that asked him a question. She asked him a question about Epstein files, relating to the Epstein files, and he was like, shut up, Piggy. And he pointed at her. Or did you say quiet, Piggy? Something like that. I've only seen the fucking clip a million times, and I can't remember exactly what he said. Maybe he said quiet, Piggy, or did he say shut up? I think he said quiet, Piggy. Something like that. Whatever it was very disrespectful, and no way for anyone to act, let alone the President of the United States. MJ Daniel says, imagine if President Obama had invited all of the worst of the worst Muslim leaders to the White House. Michelle says, MJ, they have me scheduled soon, but so expensive. Sandy Foltz, I use Instacart to have my food delivered. I've been using DoorDash a lot. David Dog, that's what I was thinking, Josh. 2 bags, only $40. David Dog says the older I get, the stronger I get. When I was young, there was no way I could carry $100 of groceries with just one hand, but now I can. Yeah, that's funny. That's funny. Aaron West is here, so we are at full mod capacity. Full mod capacity. Aaron West, thank you for being here. As far as I know, Jolie's still here. So, Danny Pomeroy says Bitcoin fell 28%. Time for gold paper. Ass wipe. As wipe. As I wipe my ass. Welcome to today's episode of As I Wipe My Ass. Yeah, PBS has the well, Raskin is speaking. There's they got what's her face in there. I could turn the thing around. We could watch it. I guess I could turn the camera over there, but I don't know. If I feel like it or not. Damon Dog's paying bills. DPD, we understand what you mean, DJ. Well, I'm glad someone does. Lady Jaka, Karen Ames from the Victor Valley's here. Hey, Karen, good to see you. Thanks for coming on in. Thanks for coming on in to the driver's lounge. Lady Jaka, listening to Jordan's BS Lies. Yeah, I've got Jemiah Paul. What's her?
Demand that we answer their clarion call to justice. Today, despite all the giant cover-up
I could have her run a little bit. But they're just going to go back and forth, and I think we know what they're going to say. So. Jolie says turkey bacon is not bacon. Jolie's got some set rules, man. Turkey bacon is not bacon. They shouldn't be allowed to use the term bacon. They should be called turkey strips. And I agree, Jolie. I agree with you on this one. Turkey strips. Aaron West, I eat turkey bacon. Josh says, the other day I watched a guy cook bacon 20 different ways and give his opinions on each. I think I'm doing it right. I even put a little oil in the pan, even though, bacon fries up and you get a whole pan full of, bacon fat grease. But I put a little oil in there because it gets hot. It gets nice and hot, and it just cooks the bacon up nice and hot. I do the same thing with the sausage. Put a little oil in there, and then the oil heats up, and it just makes I think it just cooks it up nice and hot. Turn that down. Hey, Christina Weibel, talking about Trump says women and children are property to him. DPD 5844, Jamie Raskin is speaking. Yeah, I just saw him, but now they got some Republican douchebag, looks like. Kristen Weil, MTG is a powerful voice for survivors. She's been doing a great job on that in this subject. I will admit. Brooklyn SJU $2 super chat. Yippee! Thank you so much. Here's your thumbs up, and there's the heart for you. And Brooklyn says full mod capacity. We are full mod capacity. Thank you, Brooklyn. I appreciate your $2 super chat. It really helps with the show. Helps us keep going and growing, and keeps us on the air. So I appreciate you. John Dev says Epstein called Trump evil. Let that sink in. Yeah, if Epstein is calling someone evil, you must be fucking evil. Pretty way a lot evil. Is what I'm saying. Josh C says Raskin is my favorite dim. He's good. He's good. My favorite dim is probably AOC. I like Raskin. I like Jasmine Crockett. I guess we don't need to go down the whole list of all the Dems we like. Or at least I don't have to. Josh C's beauty starts from the inside. Gino Maynard. TJ MG sitting in a tree. I wouldn't quite go that far, but I just noticed that there's something that's come over her where she just seems different and like, in a good way. And we know she's different, what she's, been saying, but she just looks, it's like it's, I don't know. There's just something about this that she feels, seems like she's at peace with it, Let's see. Karen Ames says Republicans still calling this Epstein Trump a hoax. Yeah, of course they are. Brooklyn SJU says, would you pick up a beautiful soul in a bar or a beautifully made up girl? Depends on how many Heinekens I got in me. Damn, I'm almost done with my coffee already. I feel like having another cup, but I almost never do 2 cups. I'm just a 1 cup a day dude. For the most part. Oh, here's Aaron West. Updates on the layoffs. They said they are still working on restructuring, and we will know more on Friday. So now another few more days of pins and needles, right? Well, I hope the best for you, Aaron. I hope you don't get laid off. That's a scary thought, especially in these times. Karen Ames says, I can't stand this Comer's voice. He's lying. He's lying too much right now. Right now I see, what's his face? Is it Chip Roy? The Republican from Texas. They're really getting a lot of people, they're really going fast on all these speakers here. Because now it's the gray-haired lady.
This is about every victim of trafficking and sexual abuse. Monstrous crimes that thrive in secrecy and fear. Yet instead of shining a light on that darkness, just moments ago, Donald Trump defended the continued obstruction of releasing these files. Even as House Republicans prepare to vote yes today, Speaker Johnson is calling this a showboat. He's calling it dangerous. He is signaling the U.S.
Dangerous.
Republicans continue to use their power
Notorious.
to pedophiles from justice. If you can't stand up for these survivors,
Then sit your ass down.
I trust you to stand up for them.
Oh.
I yield back.
The gentlelady yields back. The gentleman reserves.
There. So now we got these hearings going on.
The gentleman from Ohio is recognized.
In the background. Sorry for yelling into the microphone. Here's Raskin, everyone's favorite.
Ghislaine Maxwell was prosecuted for conspiring to sexually abuse and traffic girls in 2020.
Petrazi with a $5 super chat. Thank you so much. Yippee to Petrazi 1920. There's your thumbs up. There's your heart. Petrazi says, I hope Donnie is having the worst day today. Me too. And thank you, Petrazi. Thanks for contributing to the show. I appreciate you a lot.
But when President Trump took office in January of 2025, they killed the investigation. They assembled all the materials. They got all the
prosecutors together, and they terminated the investigation. I yield 1 minute to the distinguished gentleman from Illinois, Mr. Roger Krishnamurthy.
The gentleman from Illinois is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise in strong support to release the Epstein files. First, this issue is beyond party. It's a question of justice. Survivors have waited too long. Stop the delay. This is not a hoax. Release the files. Second, we must face a hard truth. Silence that shields the powerful is a betrayal of those they hurt. Congress must reject any attempt, including a presidential pardon or any form of clemency for Ghislaine Maxwell. This cannot be done. This would be a cover-up. We cannot allow clemency
I agree.
for Maxwell, not now, not ever. Survivors deserve justice. I urge a strong yes vote. Thank you. I
Goes back.
want to thank the gentleman
Notorious.
for his eloquent remarks. Pardons are for people who are
Notorious.
contrite. Pardons are for people who are repentant. Pardons are not for people who lie. Every member of this body should immediately,
There we
verbally,
go.
vocally denounce the idea of clemency, commutation, or pardon for Ghislaine Maxwell, and we reserve.
The gentleman reserves. The gentleman from Ohio is recognized.
Yeah, we reserve, Mr. Speaker.
The gentleman reserves.
I yield 30 seconds to Ms. Ledger Fernandez.
The gentleman is recognized.
There were thousands of girls and young
Ms. Grijalva.
women abused, trafficked, and used by Epstein, the elite and the powerful who believed they could get away with it. Epstein told the young victims that he controlled the banks and the government. Those women refused to be silenced, and today they have pierced the dark with their light. Anytime any girl is trafficked, molested, or abused, the world must stand up. Today, the House proves Jeffrey Epstein wrong. The Senate must do the same tomorrow.
The gentleman reserves. The gentleman from Ohio is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I yield 2 minutes to
I
the
agree.
gentleman from California. 1.5 minutes to the gentleman from California.
The gentleman from California is recognized.
Thank
you, Chairman.
Is this Isa?
Mr. Speaker, a minute and a half.
Talk about slime balls. This guy is the biggest slime ball.
Have to be the same. We've all said that this will pass the House, perhaps unanimously today. I think all of us who have looked at the details of this particular bill know that it is flawed, and that before it goes to the president's desk, it has to be amended as it can be amended in the Senate. And we call on the Senate
Fuck
to amend
you.
it so that we protect the innocent.
You slime
so
ball.
That we have the provisions.
I hope that's
that are
Daryl Issa.
intended perhaps to be in this bill, but are not properly written. With that, President Trump has said, get it to his desk, he will sign it. President Trump has said he will do it. But I'm going to say to all of us, it is also important that we remember that Epstein is dead, but people live on, people who were innocent, people who in fact should not be named. We're not talking about the rich and the powerful, we're talking about the very victims. That is what we need to make sure is amended before.
The victims, the survivors have said they don't mind
Thank the chairman for his time. I think no
if they
more
get
needs to be
named.
said.
They want the list
This
out.
body will vote for it all, but let's not kid ourselves. It has to be changed so that it properly protects both the tradition of the grand jury and clearly those innocent people that would otherwise be swept up. And I yield back. The gentleman's time has expired. The gentleman yields back. Reserve. Gentleman reserves. The gentleman from Maryland is recognized.
This whole bill is about protecting the innocent. Mr. Speaker, the Senate must pass the bill as we are passing it today and as the president has said he would sign it after changing his position on the bill over the weekend when he could see the tidal wave of public opinion moving against him. Let's pass this bill, pass it in the Senate, sign the bill, and let us go ahead and release the complete file. I yield 30 seconds to the distinguished gentlelady from Arizona, Representative Ansari.
The gentlelady is recognized.
Mr. Speaker, the walls are closing in on Donald Trump and his rich and powerful friends who either abused or
she's
raped
good.
children
She's
or
good.
were enabling and complicit in these heinous crimes for decades. This vote today matters, but here is the truth. Donald Trump could direct the Department of Justice to release the files today. He is choosing not to. They are already under subpoena led by oversight Democrats, and have refused. This is an ongoing cover-up by the Trump White House, and Mike Johnson and the House has been complicit. What is Trump hiding? Why not release the files today? This is a matter.
It's expired.
Release the files today. Thank you.
The gentleman at least time is reserved.
She's good. She's that one that was chasing down Mike Johnson.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. You have 2 minutes to distinguish gentleman from New Jersey, Mr. Van Drew.
The gentleman from New Jersey is recognized.
Today I want to talk about hypocrisy. Let me be clear.
Oh, do you really want to talk about hypocrisy?
Of this very bill from the beginning.
Yes, I'm going to talk about hypocrisy today.
But for months, my Democratic colleagues
But for months,
what they think is politically convenient through all the yelling, through all the tears, through all the sadness. They say releasing the Epstein list is of grave concern to them. If that was true, where were they during the 4 years of the Biden presidency? Why didn't they demand the release of these files from judges?
because it was being in a court case. It was sealed by the judge. You dumb fuck.
Good enough, maybe in year 3, they had control, or not even in his final year
Don't
of office.
distract. Don't try to get off the subject, motherfucker. We're here today, right now, to release these things now. Doesn't matter what happened 4 years ago, anyhow. This today is today.
Of this very terrible tragedy, other than to say that he didn't like the plea deal. Let me say this: when they stand here today insisting how badly they want these files released, why didn't they do it? Yet they stayed silent.
Okay,
Year
regardless, they're doing it now, motherfucker. So either you're for it or you're against it. It doesn't matter if it was then or now. Are you for it or are you against it?
More focused on scoring political points and drama than a It's clear. Under Republicans, far more information has been
Guy needs to have a spit bar.
all 4 years of the previous presidency under Joe Biden. We've actually been the party of transparency. We've released the information. We've told the truth. Unfortunately, and I'm sad to say it.
What did you release?
Of hypocrisy.
What information did you release?
I reel back.
The gentleman yields back. The gentleman reserves. The gentleman from Maryland is recognized.
They didn't release shit.
More defensive presentation in my life than what
Tell him, Jamie.
from over there.
Tell him.
The gentleman should spend a little less time pointing out hypocrisy and a little more time trying to ferret out cruelty, humiliation, and rape. And that's what we're
right on.
I yield 30 seconds to the distinguished gentleman from California, Mr. Mint.
The gentleman from California is recognized.
I want to remind you that we are all here voting on this bill because President Trump, who has the power to release the Epstein files at any time, has refused to do so, calling this a hoax. We're here because Speaker Mike Johnson and President Trump have gone to extraordinary lengths to try to kill and delay the discharge petition, including refusing to seat Adelita Grijalva for over 40 days and threatening House Republicans who signed on. Now, several of my Republican colleagues have accused those of us House Democrats who support justice here of having Trump derangement syndrome. You all suffer from something much worse, which is pedophile protection syndrome. Release the Epstein files. The victims deserve justice. I yield back.
We reserve.
He ain't messing around.
Members are reminded to direct their comments to the chair. The gentleman from Maryland reserves. The gentleman from Ohio is recognized.
We reserve.
The gentleman from Ohio reserves. The gentleman from Maryland.
I'm yielding 30 seconds to my friend Representative Walkinshaw from Virginia.
Walkinshaw.
Recognized.
For years, Mr. Speaker, we have watched dangerous conspiracies like Pizzagate and QAnon shape our political landscape. They helped fuel the rise of President Trump and were built on baseless claims about secret pedophile rings, while the real documented case of child sex trafficking involving Jeffrey Epstein remains shrouded in secrecy because President Trump refuses to release the files.
President Trump could have released these on day fucking 1 of this presidency. Why didn't he? That's the question.
Release the files and let the American people see.
Because he's guilty as fuck. He's in them.
We reserve. The gentleman reserves. The gentleman from Ohio is recognized.
But they want to deflect and say it's the Democrats' fault for not doing it 4 or 5 years ago.
Granting 30 seconds to the very distinguished gentlelady who is finally with us, Representative Adelita
There she
Grijalva
is.
from Arizona 7.
The gentlelady is recognized.
There's Grijalva.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise today to acknowledge the survivors, family members, and advocates who are here today and have never given up. The legislation in front of us, at its core, is about something very simple:
The survivors deserve justice. The American people deserve the truth. To every survivor watching, your courage is inspiring. You are the reason why this vote is happening today. Protecting women and children from pedophiles should not be a Democratic issue, should not be a Republican issue. It should be a human rights issue and a matter of justice. I urge my colleagues to vote yes on the Epstein Files Transparency Act. I yield back. Thank you.
Thank you, and we reserve. The chair will remind all persons in the gallery that they are here as guests of the House and that any manifestation of approval or disapproval of proceedings is in violation of the rules of the House. The gentleman from Maryland.
No clapping.
Yeah, but I'll just add, they're here as honored guests of the House, and we're delighted they're here, and with that, we reserve.
The gentleman reserves. The gentleman from Ohio is recognized.
We reserve.
The gentleman reserves. The gentleman from Maryland.
I'm granting 30 seconds to Representative Lois Franco from Florida.
The gentlelady from Florida is recognized.
Speaker, for far too long, the survivors of Jeffrey Epstein's abuse were failed by a justice system that minimized their suffering and prosecutors who treated young girls as if they were criminals. That was wrong, and I am here with my colleagues to promise this. We will get to the bottom of why the Epstein survivors were treated so badly. Who made those decisions, and who were they protecting? No more secrecy, no more excuses. We all deserve the truth, and I thank the survivors for their courage and perseverance. Your voices are being heard.
The gentlelady yields back. The gentleman reserves the balance of his time. The gentleman from Ohio.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I yield 1 minute to the distinguished gentleman from the great state of Louisiana, the Speaker of the United States House of Representatives.
Oh, boy.
The gentleman from Louisiana is recognized.
Thank you.
Little Mikey Grinder Johnson.
Thank you, Chairman Jordan, for doing such an extraordinary job on all of this. For 43 long days, the Democrats held this House and the entire country.
What kind of bullshit is going to come out of his mouth now?
With the lights back on, this body's returning to our regular legislative session. We have a lot of work to do. My colleagues on this side of the chamber are ready and eager to get back to our urgent legislative work that we promised the American people we would do. We've got to continue lowering the cost of living. We've got to bring down prices for American families, and we got to finish the regular appropriations process, just to name a few of those priorities. And I wish I could say that our
that's the job of Congress. Get to fucking work, motherfucker.
Of course, we're here spending time on the floor about something else. This is something we could have resolved last week when we brought a unanimous consent to pass this discharge.
We could have resolved it 54 fucking days ago, motherfucker, but you sent everybody home. You lying cocksucking son of a bitch.
And they wanted to have this exercise instead. And that's why we say that this is a show vote. That's what this is. They're making a show of it. And it really is a shame. We have some heroic women in the chamber today. I met with many of them a while back. They're in the gallery here. They've come forward. They've shown their faces. They've used their names to share the unspeakable tragedies that many of them were subjected to, some of them when they were very young. And it is a heroic...
Then shut the fuck up and release the goddamn Epstein files.
The Department of Justice, many years ago, should have brought these charges. It took too long to do it. And now we're in this process of making sure all the American people get the information, but we have to do it in the right way, After 4 years of Democrat control under President Biden, they were not truthful with us about a lot of things. The Democrats insisted the border was secure. We knew it wasn't. They insisted that inflation was transitory. We knew it.
We had a border bill, but your fucking guy, Trump, killed it, you stupid fuck.
Mental and physical decline of the previous commander-in-chief. And now those same Democrats are...
Have you seen your commander-in-chief lately? He looks like death warmed over, cocksucker.
Taking a curious concern in the Epstein investigation, all in the name of that, in the name of transparency. But the question has been asked here many times during the debate on the floor, and everybody questioning why it is the Democrats have done this right now have to look at the obvious facts. The Democrats had all the Epstein files in their possession for 4 long years under the Biden presidency. The Biden Department of Justice had these files, and no one on this side who is breathless today about the urgency of this release ever said a word about it.
They were under seal. And if they had released them, then Ghislaine Maxwell would have walked free, probably, for a mistrial.
Just Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell, but they didn't do it. And so it's a fair question to ask today, why now? Why the sudden urgent interest in Jeffrey Epstein? Look, we know why. It's because the Democrats
You guys brought it up because Trump didn't live up to his campaign promise, you stupid fuck. It was the maggots that were saying, where's the Epstein files that you promised? So fuck you, Mike Johnson, you fucking lying piece of shit. You're deceitful, you cocksucker.
As their pointless stunt was to shut the government down. Democrats are using the Epstein tragedy, the unspeakable evils that this guy committed with his trafficking ring and all of the
and his good friend Donald Trump right by his side.
They're using that as a political weapon to try to distract from their failures as a party and to try their best to try to tie.
Well, this party just kicked your ass a couple weeks ago, so fuck off.
The president had nothing to do with it. He's been very clear, and he has nothing to hide. And that's why he's endorsed the vote today. I suspect this vote will be probably unanimous. But here's the important point that everybody needs to
Then why are you wasting my time right now?
We have been advocates of
Get to the vote, bitch.
transparency, but we have also insisted that the victims be carefully protected. The Oversight Committee has been doing extraordinary work, and we've got some of the most vigorous advocates on the Republican and Democrat
Extraordinary
side.
work of destroying evidence.
They've been working in earnest to deliver transparency for the American people and to do it in a responsible manner. What do we mean by that?
Yeah, what do you mean by that?
Over there is already producing all the results that the discharge petition seeks and much, much more. Chairman Comer and all of these advocates over there have been releasing thousands of documents, for example, from the Epstein estate. By the way, in my view, that's been the greatest treasure trove of information because it's yielded for us Epstein's own personal flight logs, his financial records, his daily calendars, and so much more. But importantly, none of that was addressed or is addressed.
And Trump's blowing of someone named Bubba.
The estate files wouldn't even have been encompassed in that. And so it goes to show that the oversight
Or something.
Committee is doing it from the right way. From the very beginning, we've been insistent that this matter be handled carefully and with the utmost caution and care for the people who have been harmed. They should not be made to suffer any longer. We're talking about real people's lives at stake here. And young victims who don't want to be dragged into this political game, they could get hurt further. But the Democrats are rushing the release of thousands of unsubstantiated documents that may be included in this, that are going to be in the public domain with the passage of this bill. And there are serious deficiencies in the legislation that I have noted at length, and Republicans have to work to address those deficiencies in the Senate if and when this legislation is advanced. I stood before the American public today at our press conference, and I explained in detail the dangers of the discharge petition. We have posted at my website, speaker.gov, a summary. The legal counsel, a small army of lawyers, put this together. I used to be a federal court litigator. Many of my colleagues who have spoken today were. We understand the dangers of how this was haphazardly drawn up. And among them, by the way, Mr. Speaker, before I forget, I seek unanimous consent to enter into this document into the record. It's on the website. It's entitled, How the Flaws of H.R. 4405 Could Re-Victimize Epstein's Victims, Create New Victims, and Damage the Judicial System. It is dated today.
Like he gives a fuck. Like he really gives a fuck.
It fails to fully protect victim privacy. It could create new categories of victims. It potentially jeopardizes grand jury secrecy. It fails to prohibit release of child sexual abuse materials that are not appropriately defined in the legislation. It jeopardizes future federal investigations, and we have national security concerns regarding classified information. We'll put this in the record because
of course that will be all fucking dealt with.
The legislative intent behind this vote. I used to litigate cases. We would litigate federal statutes and whether or not they could survive, and legislative intent is important. And we need to say clearly for the record, as a Speaker of the House, I'm saying to you, this legislation that will pass today is flawed and it must be amended. The question is, why didn't we amend it here before we passed it? Because the authors won't allow it. Because under the rules of the House, under a discharge petition, they have to agree to consent for the legislation.
Because you will drag it out and drag it out and drag it out, and they're tired of you dragging it out, you stupid fuck.
The victims deserve our utmost respect. In fact, they should be saluted for their courage. And the young women who have not come forward, who are now, some of them are middle-aged women who have not come forward, also deserve our respect, and they deserve to be protected. Republicans support transparency. We want maximum transparency, especially when it comes to disclosing the names of anybody who had anything to do.
Somebody brought a baby. There's a baby.
Or aided in any way Jeffrey Epstein.
Look at the
They must be brought
baby.
to justice. We want the bill to be amended so it doesn't.
Oh,
in the
look at that, so cute.
privacy, create new victims.
So
disclose
precious.
the names of any whistleblower or informant. cause the release of grand jury materials or child sexual abuse materials or undermine our national security. And if and when the Senate takes this up, we will work with our colleagues over there to make sure that these things are corrected. I'll just close with this.
Just bring your baby to Congress Day today.
We've been at this a while. It's drug on for a while, but it's time for this to come to light. We are. I expect that this will be a unanimous vote, and it will reflect what I think every member in this chamber. And I'll say this now, at least in recent days.
You can't walk by a baby and tug its toe. It's just impossible to not do that.
Transparency now, and so is this side. But we want to do it in a respectful and careful manner, so that we don't subject innocent people to.
Fuck you, Mike Johnson. I'm talking about. I'm more involved with the baby than with you. You stupid fuck.
We'll send it to the Senate. We hope it's corrected. Thank you for
The baby's more interesting than this cocksucker.
Gentleman reserves. A gentleman from Maryland is recognized.
I'm yielding to Mr. Gomez for the sole purpose of making a parliamentary inquiry.
Mr. Gomez is recognized.
Mr. Speaker, I rise to ask a point of parliamentary inquiry. Is this an appropriate time to point out that the Republicans named Children's Savings Account in their so-called One Big Beautiful Bill after Donald Trump, someone connected to one of the most notorious pedophiles in this country, or that the Speaker of the House just lied on the floor by stating that there was protections for the victims in the Epstein bill?
The gentleman is no longer recognized. The gentleman from Maryland, you are recognized.
He's no longer recognized.
Prepared to close. I've got no more speakers on my side.
Gentleman reserves. Gentleman from Ohio is recognized. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Got a little fiery there.
Gentleman from Ohio has 30 seconds. You can I inquire how much?
Call it out, Mike Johnson, for being a lying sack of shit. Is what he did. Good on him. What was that guy's name?
6 minutes, 15 seconds. There he is. We reserve.
All right. Well,
gentleman from Maryland is recognized.
This is kind of interesting, right?
Opportunity of the speaker's
I think it's
presence to
interesting.
respond to some of the things that he said in the very presence of the victims and the survivors who come to join us today. The speaker said that now would be a time we should be working on urgent legislative work. Mr. Speaker, justice is urgent legislative work. The truth is urgent legislative work.
Uh-oh. No clapping.
The speaker says, why now? Why now? Well, Mr. Speaker, you were the one who refused to swear in Adelita Grajova for 50 days. We would have done it 50 days ago, but she provided the
what I said.
2018 signature on the discharge petition. So why now? It was because of your dilatory tactics, your delay, your postponement of it. Now, the gentleman says that there are not sufficient protections. There are protections in the bill for the victims to make sure that their names will be redacted. And yet we hear even the Speaker of the House of Representatives openly inviting the U.S. Senate to start finger painting on this bill, which we have waited more than 5 months to bring to the floor. The Senate should pass the bill exactly as it's written. The president should sign it exactly as he said he would when he finally changed his mind. And the Epstein file must be released. Moreover, if the president is serious about what he's saying, he's got the power to release the Epstein file right now. Nobody's stopping him. It's within his possession. It's within his control. He can release the whole thing, and he can redact the names of the victims and others who are innocent in this process. Mr. Speaker, Speaker Johnson said that these are unspeakable evils.
Am I still on?
Well, because of the bravery and the invincible
Am I still on?
courage of the women who joined us today,
I'm just watching
they're
this.
no longer unspeakable. They're spoken. They're articulated. The cat is out of the bag, and we know what's been going on for decades. It's been a double standard of justice, going all the way back to Alex Acosta, who later got rewarded with a cabinet appointment in the Trump administration. Alex Acosta had a 60-count federal indictment ready to go against all kinds of people for an interstate sex trafficking conspiracy with solicitation, with child sex abuse, all of it. And he traded that 60-count federal indictment for 1 count in state court. And Jeffrey Epstein ended up getting the sweetest of sweetheart deals ever on the plea bargain front. He was free from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. to do whatever he wanted and continuing to perpetrate his crimes and run his conspiracy. And then he would come and he would watch TV and spend the night in jail. And it was over in about a year after the rape and sexual abuse of hundreds and hundreds of girls. And he kept going and he kept at it. We want the whole truth to come out. This is the United States of America. Even the British monarchy wouldn't put up with this. How about the American democracy? How about we say, no way, we're not going to allow this cover up to go on for one day more. And I'm glad the president changed his mind after pulling out all the stops to try to get one of our Republican colleagues to change their mind, to remove their name from the discharge petition. He gave up. And I want to salute the gentlelady from Colorado from having the courage to stand her ground in the Situation Room in the White House and say, no, she wasn't going to be bullied. No. So I'm glad the president changed his mind. But let's be clear, Mr. President, you've got the power today to release the entire file. That's what you called for. That's what Pam Bondi called for. That's what Kash Patel called for. So we don't need anybody calling for the Senate to slow things down for more weeks and more months. The American people have had it. We'll reserve.
Gentleman reserves. Gentleman is reminded to direct your comments to the chair and not your colleagues. Gentleman from Ohio is recognized, and you do have 90 seconds remaining. Correction.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I yield 30 seconds to the gentleman from Texas.
Gentleman from Texas is recognized.
The Democrat Party, with help from the dishonest media, used the Epstein files not to seek justice from the victims, but to smear President Trump. And it's sickening, quite sickening. The Democrats have used the Epstein files to distract the American people from the wins President Trump and his administration have delivered for the American people for the last 11 months. I'm proud to work with my Republican colleagues on the House Oversight Committee in coordination with the Justice Department. 65,000 pages of documents are related from Epstein released. What have my Democrat colleagues done? They selectively leaked and altered documents to mislead the American people. As President Trump has stated, we have nothing to hide here. I'm voting to release the files so that we can move on from this smear campaign the Democrats have manufactured. God bless.
Gentleman's time has expired. Gentleman from Maryland is recognized.
Reserve the balance of my time.
Gentleman reserves. Gentleman from Ohio reserves. Gentleman from Maryland is recognized.
All right. How much time do I have to close?
You have 2 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And I want to thank all of America for tuning in to this. I want to thank Representatives Massey and Khanna, Representative Green, all of those who have insisted upon bringing the truth forward and a reckoning with the reality of one of the worst international child sex trafficking rings ever to exist in the United States and the cover-up attendant to it. We've got the opportunity today to do justice for the victims, for the survivors who have come forward to say that the voice of the victims and the survivors must be put at the very center of our deliberations, not shunted off to the side, not submerged, not subordinated, but put at the very center. We must hear from the people who themselves were victimized by this nightmare. Now, our colleagues across the aisle seem to want to make this into some sort of partisan contest. I haven't heard so much talk about the Democrats since the Democratic National Convention. And all that we've done here is to say we want to bring the truth forward along with a bipartisan group. We don't want the Senate monkeying around with this in order to slow things down. We want it passed in the Senate. We want it signed. And before that, if the president is true to his word and he wants to see all of this come to light, he can release it now instead of fighting, kicking, and screaming every step along the way. But I'm glad he's changed his mind, and I hope he maintains the momentum he's got to stick with the vast majority of the American people who want to see that the truth is done here. And while he's at it, the administration could reconsider their terrible policies, gutting federal offices and programs designed to combat violence against women. The DOJ terminated hundreds of grants to police departments, defunding the police when it comes to investigating violent sex crimes and to support victims. his Doge destroyed programs to combat international human trafficking rings. Let's get back on the side of the women. I yield back.
Gentleman yields back. The gentleman from Ohio.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The Speaker Johnson said it right. Why now after 4 years of doing nothing? Because going after President Trump is an obsession with these guys. Best example is John Brennan testified in front of our committee under oath, said he was not involved with the dossier. Only problem is Tulsi Gabbard declassified the report, released that report, and it said exactly the opposite. And she related a story in there where a CIA official went up to Mr. Brennan and said, we shouldn't include this in the report. And John Brennan's response was, yeah, but doesn't it ring true? Forget the facts, forget the truth, go after Trump, put it in. Same dynamic at work here. We're all for protecting innocent victims. We're all for exposing the bad guys who did bad
And
things.
fucking release the Epstein files if you're all for it.
10 years it's going after President Trump. So vote yes. Make sure the bad guys are held accountable. We all want to do that.
Do it.
Speaker
Do
Johnson's
it.
right. I think it's going to be unanimous. But understand what they're doing because they had 4 years and didn't do a darn thing. With that, I yield back.
Gentleman yields back. The question is, will the House suspend the rules and pass the bill H.R. 4405? Those in favor say aye. Those opposed say no. In the opinion of the chair, 2/3 being in the affirmative, the rules are suspended. The bill is passed, and
Can I
without
request a recorded vote, Mr.
the
Speaker?
gentleman from Maryland is recognized.
Yeah, I'm requesting a recorded vote.
Gentleman from Maryland has requested a recorded vote. Those favoring a recorded vote will rise. A sufficient number having risen, a recorded vote is ordered. Members will record their votes by electronic device.
Get it on the record. Let's get it on the record.
15-minute vote on the motion to suspend the rules will be followed by 5-minute votes on ordering the previous question on House Resolution 879, adoption of House Resolution 879 if ordered, and adoption of House Resolution 878. This is a 15-minute vote.
He's very aggressive on that. So, on motion to suspend the rules and pass 4045. All right, guys. So there's that. Our little viewing of what goes on in Congress, how they work it, how they do it. I know that I probably lost a bunch of people. A lot of people don't like that shit, apparently. But I don't know. I thought it was interesting. I thought it was kind of interesting to watch that, watching history go down here. All right, so I'm going to skip down. I'm way down in the chat. Way down. Danny Pomeroy says, Margie Green said she will announce all the PD files names on the House floor live. Hello, MAGA. Guess what's happening? Red Hats eating more Red Hats and orgy cookie for only a dictator needs. Skipping down quite a bit here. City folks, BLTs are good. Bacon, lettuce, and tomato and mayo. Yeah, I like a BLT. DBD, I agree with you, Jolie. Turkey bacon is not bacon, and there is no such thing as boneless wings. They are chicken chunks. Or chicken fingers, I've heard they're usually called. Marsha Jones says, if women ruled the world, there'd be no wars. Just countries not talking to each other. That's kind of funny. Karen Ames says, the way these Republicans are speaking, it doesn't sound like they're going to get the full House voting yes. I don't know. Mike Johnson said it'd probably be unanimous. Okay, if it's going to probably be unanimous, then why all the... I guess they want to get on congressional record, all the little bullshit they wanted to get in there. Paul Burrows says Buffalo wings are not buffalo, by the way, because I think they were invented in Buffalo or something. The preparation of the wings, or the sauce or something from Buffalo, New York, I think. Danny Pomeroy says I use a big hamburger plate press like a hamburger press, but bigger, and for thick cut bacon, it works great in making BLT. I still like the way I make my bacon, by the way, no matter what you guys say. Brooklyn SJU says what I just said. Were buffalo wings invented in Buffalo, New York? I believe they were. Rainer Noliwaka is here. Good to see Rainer Noliwaka. Epstein files will never get released. Forget it, people. Well, we'll see. We'll see. One way or the other, I think they will. Jolie says, hi, Rainer Noliwaka. I can't believe no one's leaked them yet. Josh C says, this stupid mobile game I've been playing for like 14 years now. All the best team regents have been women. Ooh, look at there. Proof of women being superior. DPD5844 says, instead of all those moody men, the orange pedophile suffers from permanent PMS. Yeah, Lady Jog, it was Chip Roy. Yeah, I think I said that. Chip Roy. He is a douchebag. He is a douchey douche. The douchiest of the douchiest of bags. Sandy Fold says the Anchor Bar in Amherst, New York, have the best roast beef on wheat, maybe, I don't know. And their barbecue wings are delicious, delicioso. Hey, 007 Kevin Troll Slayer's here. Good to see you. Hi, hello there, 007 Kevin. Good to see you. DPD5844 says, this motherfucker is in the files. Who are you protecting, Isa? Oh, Daryl Isa, what a scumbag. I never liked him before, and I don't like him now because he got voted out, and then he went and found another place to win, I think in the San Diego area. God, talk about your slimy sleazeballs. Daryl Isa is the slimiest of the sleazeballs. Just a slime ball. Jolie says, anyone saying, be sure to protect the innocent, they're in the files. They aren't saying protect the victims. All right. Anamore says, you are correct, TJ. I yell at the TV too when these web spinners speak their lies. 5 years ago, the Epstein files were sealed because it was under investigation. Hey, there's a Aesthetic Delta is here. Good to see you. Thanks for coming on in. Aesthetic Delta says Bill was impeached for of-age relations while in office, by the way. Yeah, we kind of went over that the other day. The differences. That was a consensual adults that did something that was probably inappropriate to do it in the Oval Office or wherever it was, but it was consensual and nothing like what's going on with these Epstein files and Epstein Island and the trafficking and all that shit, raping of children. Nola Carnes is here. Says, well, peoples, I have to go. Take care. Oh, well, you're probably already gone. But just want to say thanks for being here. I do appreciate you hanging out with us for a bit. Damon Dog says, and what do I pull out of this load to fold? My we will not consent, we will not comply shirt. That's a good one. Sure, why not? Danny Pomeroy says, my father's 40-hour work week check was $97.67 after taxes for a family of 5, and mom didn't work. What year was this, man? Like 1950s or something? Yeah, mom didn't work, and she cooked liver once a week with potatoes and peas, and for dessert, white rice with cinnamon and milk Oh, I remember that. My mom used to make that white rice with cinnamon and milk and sugar. But we made more than $97 a week when I grew up. Josh says, as long as we're talking about human rights issues, how about healthcare, education, and affordable housing? Absolutely. When I run for Congress, that's going to be the main planks of my platform. It's going to be healthcare and living wages and housing, all that kind of shit. I'm going to run for Congress. I'm going to run for the House here in Nevada as an independent. And I'll caucus with the Democrats. Jolie says, Damon Dog, I can't tell you how much I love to hear a guy say he separates his laundry by colors. I think, who doesn't do that? Anyhow, I think you're the first I've ever known. What do you mean, Jolie? You can't wash your whites with your colors for two reasons. Because I always put bleach in with my whites, because it's usually just underwear and socks, or mainly just socks, because most of my underwear is colored, if you want to know the truth. And I don't want to bleach the colors. And also, I don't want to put colors in, and then I end up my white socks turn pink or something. So, yeah, who doesn't separate the colors? I mean, probably only a moron would not separate the colors. And I'm not a moron. I'm a lot of things, but I'm not a moron. Let's see here. See, even Karen Ames' husband does laundry and sorts it too. See there? Yeah, Karen Ames, Micro Mike, that watches porn with his son. I don't think they watch porn together. They had a thing where like they could monitor if one is watching the porn or something like that, and then they can call each other up and go, "Dad, get off the porn, naughty, naughty." Jesus wouldn't approve. Danny Pomeroy says, John, your blood pressure going up. They all been lying from the escalator on in anything wrong. My blood pressure doesn't go up, dude. Just because I might yell, my blood pressure does not go up. Very rarely. Very rarely. If Daniel, all of the lies in the world will not make the Republicans anything other than the vile, toxic fascists that they are. MJ Daniel says, hey, Mike, who is your president meeting with? Yeah, to Mike Johnson. Yeah, who's he meeting with right at this very moment? Terry Ames says, transparency means releasing it all. Brooklyn says, I'm in a coffee shop. I have to keep adjusting the sound. Sorry about that. Anna Moore says, Mike Johnson is a faux Christian. Nobody believes you, Mike. You know that those those files were sealed. Your president ran on this for his campaign. Liar Mike, you are desperate. God have mercy on you. May God have mercy on your soul. MJ Daniel says the Republican Party is the greatest danger to the USA that there is today, not even close. Brooklyn says, who's laughing behind him? DPD 5844 says, I have a proposal. Each representative and senator who is opposed to releasing the files, write their names down, create flyers, and post them with the caption saying, hey, are you in the files? Damon, they're using the baby as a prop. Oh, the baby was so cute. I just wanted to pitch its little cheek. Just a little cheek. John says, "Oh, there's an actual baby." I thought TJ was talking about Johnson. Brenna baby. Jolie says, "Turn the TV up a little." Oh, was it too low? I thought it seemed pretty loud. And I had the microphone kind of over there, but I guess it was too low. Jolie says, "Yes, you're still on Trucker John, but need to turn the TV up a little." Sorry about that. Now I read it 20 minutes later. MJ Daniels says no ongoing court cases like when Joe Biden was president. So as far as I know, not one reason to not release everything except one, and we all know what that reason is. And F-47. Karen Ames says, "I still think this gets killed in the Senate tomorrow." We'll see. I've been hearing that there are lots of Republicans that are on board with it because they see how Trump is becoming toxic now to their reelection campaigns. MJ Daniel says, "I hope somebody is paying attention to Doge and Protect 2025 too. Those are both still here. And Project, not I said Protect, and Project 2025 too. Those are both still there doing untold damage." Yeah, let's not forget those. You know, the yays have it, but is Envy like not voting or haven't voted yet? Maybe. DPD 5844 says Jamie Raskin is a brilliant orator. I'll show him oration when I get elected to the House. I'll show him some oration. Could you imagine if I was there? I'd probably be like, it's like, recognize the representative from Nevada, Trucker John. I'd be up there. What was I gonna say? I'd be like, Jolie, what was I gonna say? If I become a rep, I gotta bring Jolie with me. Make her put her on my staff, and always have her with me. Be like, what was that thing? She'd be like my Tommy, I guess. Jolie, what was I gonna say? What was that thing? What was that thing I was gonna say? Really important moment here in the halls of Congress, or not the hall, but in the seat of Congress here in the chamber. I was gonna say something. I can't remember now. I guess that's why we write it down. We write it down on pieces of paper. DPD 5844 says, "Just imagine standing in the chambers of Congress defending fucking pedophiles. How fucking low have we fallen in the realm of humanity?" And these fucking MAGAs, like we saw yesterday in the intro and then talked about in the show about, Megyn Kelly and other people like actually defending child rape just to defend Trump. It is sickening. I mean, this was the party that was ready to go shoot up a pizza fucking restaurant, and called Hillary Clinton all kinds of names, and have called Democrats all kinds of things, accusing them of being having a child sex ring and trafficking, and but I guess it just proved to all be projection. It was all projection the whole time, which we knew it was projection. But now they've come around and they're actually saying out loud, asking why is it wrong to have sex with a child? This despicable and disgusting. The lengths that they will go to defend this president. Mr. Spock, TJ has leopard pattern underwear. I might. No. Basically solid colors. But Julie, but do you separate light colors from dark colors? Sometimes. Yeah, your lights and your darks. Yeah. Well, Julie says, I think boxes with kissing lips. Maybe. Christina White. No, actually, basically solid colors. Christina White. I just noticed who's the Republican who voted no. I don't see any no's. I see NV. It's looking pretty much unanimous right now for the yays. Karen Ames says if we had good journalism still, that would research Jim's finances, as in Jim Jordan. Christina Weibel says now that Republican vote changed and now a Dim voted no. Oh yeah, look at there. There is a nay. You must be getting, oh, that's right. I'm really behind in the chat though, so I don't know. Well, I kind of caught up. It was changed. Luck Dragons here. Hey, Luck Dragons says, damn it, I missed my favorite song, but I'm here now, right where I belong. Thanks for coming in, Luck Dragon. I appreciate you. I do appreciate you coming on in, hanging out with us for a bit. Josh says the nay is gone. It must have been fat fingers. Right now I see it's 409 to 1. The one being Mike Johnson. No, I don't know. Christina, I see another. I only see one. No. I only see one nay. Nay. Yeah, Karen is 413 to 1. I have now it's 418 to 1. No time remaining. 0 time remaining. But 13 have still not voted, apparently. I'm gonna run for House. I'm gonna run for the House in 2026 as an independent. Now it's 423 to 1 with 9 left to vote. Trucker John running for House. My big announcement. I'm going to run for the House 2026 as an independent. Anamore, hashtag TJ 2026. I'm going to run as an independent. You never know. You know. Christina Weil says, Google who the no vote is. Yeah, somebody Google that because I can't Google. Gina Maynard says, did Clay Higgins, Republican, vote no? I don't know. We don't know. Got to Google it. Google it, man. Google it. Google it. Google it. DPD 54. If you did, TJ would donate to your campaign. I would. Thank you, DPD. Lady Karen Ames says someone wants to make it not unanimous. Got my plate here. Take that out of the shot. Jolie, $5 super chat. Thank you. Yippee. Jolie, thank you so much. Got a like and a heart. My future chief of staff. My future chief of staff, Jolie. Thank you, Jolie. Yeah, so yippee. Did I say yippee? Yip. I got to give it yippee, Jolie. Thank you so much. We're 4/5 of the way on the goal, by the way. Troll says, Kevin 007 Kevin says now it's 8 no votes, now 7, now 5. I've got 5 on my TV. 5 to go. With 1 nay. Nay. Did anybody Google that yet? I want to know who the no vote was. I want to know if it was Mike Johnson. Or Jim Jordan. Oh, Karen Ames says Mike Johnson or Jim Jordan. That's what I was thinking too. Joey, $5 super chat. Gold! Yippee! Thank you so much, Joey. I do appreciate you. I feel bad that Jolie had to do that instead of one of you other guys and gals. But thank you, Jolie. I appreciate you so much. Josh C says, "How does it change after the clock ran out?" Well, I don't know. I guess they're kind of loosey goosey on the clock. They're just waiting for these few to here to catch up. I guess it's at the guy's discretion, maybe, you know. Hey, I figure if MTG and Lauren Boebert can be House members, House representatives, then so the fuck can I. Of course, yeah. If I had nicer boobs, that might help. I could dye my hair blonde and get a boob job, and maybe move to North Dakota. I don't know. My chances would go up. My chances of winning.
On this vote,
oh Jesus!
The yeas are 427. The nays are 1. 2/3 being in the affirmative. The rules are suspended. The bill is passed, and without objection, the motion to reconsider is laid on the table.
He seems so angry for some reason, that guy. Anamore says, Jolie, you will be Representative TJ's technical advisor. No, chief of staff, man. I don't know. Lug Dragon says, now that we voted no, what are we going to do with him? This entire vote.
Clause 8, Rule 20, the unfinished business is the vote on ordering the previous question on House Resolution 879, on which the yeas and nays are ordered. The clerk will report the title of the resolution.
House Calendar number 47, House Resolution 879. Resolution providing for consideration of the joint resolution, Senate Joint Resolution 80, providing for congressional disapproval under Chapter 8 of Title 5 United States Code of the rules submitted by the Bureau of Land Management relating to National Petroleum
Bureau of Land Management.
Alaska Integrated Activity Plan Record of Decision, providing for consideration
We don't need all this mumbo jumbo right now on the show. Karen Am says they need to be voted out for sure. Hashtag pedo protector. Josh C says TJ in a lime green mesh mankini. If I got voted, if I did win election to the House, I think my first day, I think what I would do is I would grow my hair out, and I would do a big comb over, and I would do my face in orange makeup. And don't ask me why, because I don't even know why. And I just because I would think it would be funny, and then people would go, and if people ask me about it, I would go, "How many times did you ask Trump about his getup? Why are you asking me about my getup? How dare you, sir? How dare you, good sir?" Luck Dragon says, I'm officially announcing Trucker John as my nominee for the FAFO party. Gina Maynard says, Representative Clay Higgins, Republican Louisiana, has voted no. So that was, you were right, I guess. Gina, were you the one that thought that? Fucking Clay Higgins. Mr. Spock, it only cost $998.31 for furnace oil today. I budgeted $1,400, so I'm ahead for Christmas. Well, there you go. Yeah, you're $1.69 ahead or something. So now what are they voting on? On ordering the previous question. I don't know. I don't even know what that one was for. Some BLM shit or something. All right, so DBD5840 says, would you be angry too, TJ, if you were not getting laid and were permanently constipated? Oh, I would be. Yes, I would be. Yes. If I was not getting laid and permanently, yes, I would be very angry. Troll Slayer 007 Kevin says, Josh sees, did you see that pic of Sarah Palin in a bra and sash? Laughing out loud. Oh, yowza. Oh, yowza. Brooklyn says, Clay Higgins sounds like a banjo player. Well, he's from Louisiana, so could very well be. He's up there. Karen Ames says, video of Jasmine Crockett responds to Bondi on Democracy Now! 2 hours ago on YouTube. Josh She says, no, Kevin, and I'm not going to search that. Miss Buck, they're voting on pizza or calzones. Yeah. Gina Maynard says, Clay looks like a banjo player. Does he look like the one in Deliverance? You know, that kid on the porch who had something going on? Had something going on? Kristen Weil says, I'll see you all at 21st Century at 4. Gotta go. And I am over 2 hours. The time flew. The time flew by. I know I lost half my audience watching Congress. It's not for everyone, apparently. But, you know, I know we kept talking about it, and I kept getting more and more curious about it. So I couldn't help myself. I just couldn't help myself. Sometimes I can't help myself. Brooklyn says, Italian or Chinese for lunch? The days have it. The yays have it. Karen Ames says she's really bringing the fire. Yeah, Jasmine is awesome. I think she's great. I really like her a lot. DPD54 says Jazzy Jasmine was on the Stephanie Miller show this morning. Again. Troll Slayer says Josh sees I saw it on shorts. Oh Lord, I think I'm blind now. Karen Names love her. As far as I'm talking about Jasmine Crockett, I'm sure, not Sarah Palin, but 427-1. Okay, so anyhow, guys, thanks for being here. I know it was kind of a weird show, just watching Congress and stuff like that, but these are these are where we're at. We're watching Congress to see what they do. Let's hold them accountable. Let's get those Epstein files out. Let's not let the Republicans drag this out any longer. That's what they want to do, is just keep dragging it out, dragging it out, dragging it out. Karen Name says, God, no, not Sarah Palin. But it's going to come out one way or the other, whether officially through Congress or whether the survivors themselves just end up doing it. It's going to get out. And I think we're going to see more and more. We're going to see more and more, maggots leaving MAGA. We're going to see more and more of that. I think the Republican Party is going to continue to crumble and fall apart. It's just going to continue on. And I think we're going to have a big blue wave. Trucker John for Congress 2026. I want to be, no, I don't want to be there. I want to be this way. Okay. Trucker John for Congress 2026. Going to lead the way. We're going to lead the way to healthcare, living wages, all that stuff. Mainly healthcare. Living wages, better jobs, better education, skill training, all the things that people care about, equality, reproductive rights, all that stuff. That's my platform. In a nutshell. That was a nutshell version of my my platform. Big Hook, the Big Canuck is here. Big Hook, Big Hook. Hi, it says hi, Turtles. Hope you're feeling better. Yeah, I hope you're feeling better, Jolie. By the way, yeah, didn't feel so hot yesterday. Hope you're feeling better.
On this vote, the yeas are 217, the nays are 211. The previous question is ordered. The question is on the adoption of the resolution. Those in favor say aye. Those opposed say no. No. The opinion of the chair, the ayes have it. Speaker, for what purpose does the gentleman from Massachusetts rise? I ask for a recorded vote. A recorded vote is requested. Those favoring a recorded vote will rise. Number having risen, a recorded vote is ordered.
They're doing another recorded vote on the last thing. Mr. Spock said I'm doing a big second ISO run. Should get a bit of oil. Yeah, Karen Ames. The nay vote was Clay Higgins. Yeah, we talked about that. That's the guy, the banjo player. Josh C says they're not going to be able to catch the boomerang when it comes back. I can't stand Steve Scalise is on here. I just got to turn the volume down, otherwise I keep getting distracted. Anyhow, guys, thanks for being here. I got to get going. It's almost noon my time already, so yeah, I need to get going. I need to get busy. I'm actually, I want to. Whoops, let's see here. Try to get myself in the middle here. Wait. I got to get ready. Tomorrow's going to be a big spray day. Oh, that's right. Tomorrow is supposed to be the big spray for the bugs. I haven't seen too many bugs lately, so that's good. But they're going to do a big spray tomorrow, so I'm going to be out of the house. So probably no show tomorrow because I'm going to take off. I might just go to work or something because I'm supposed to be out like all day. So I might as well just get up and go to work. And I can just do an all-day thing at work. I'll just do like a 12-hour shift or something. So no show tomorrow, unfortunately. And then we'll be back on Thursday at 9 a.m. Pacific time. So I'll see you guys on Thursday. Unless I want to do some impromptu things, later on tonight, or maybe before or after Liberal Dan if I'm on Wednesday if I'm home. But I'll probably be out. I'll probably be working, so probably not. But you never know. So keep your notification thing hit just in case if I go on sometime tomorrow. But probably no show tomorrow, and I'll see you guys Thursday 9 a.m. Pacific time, and we can pick up where we left off, and I'm sure we'll have a whole new thing, a slate of things to talk about. We can talk about what's going on in Congress right now. We can talk about, I'm sure the Epstein files will still be first and foremost on our minds here. So, and remember, it should be, because all this other shit has been a distraction. These Republicans want to keep asking, why didn't the Democrats do this 4 years ago? Why didn't they do it then? Why didn't that? And we know, we say, well, because the case was being litigated and the judge sealed everything. But they don't really care if it was then or now. They don't want to do it now. They don't want to do it. The Republicans, they didn't want this stuff to come out then, and the Republicans don't want it to come out now. And the only reason it really, not the only reason, but the main reason why this got pushed to the forefront is because Donald Trump became president and conveniently just forgot about it. That, which was one of his main campaign running issues, was to release the Epstein files. And when he became president, he didn't even talk about it anymore. And so the maggots that voted for him were like, what about the Epstein files? So they're the ones that sort of brought this back all out again. And then the Democrats were like, hey, yeah, what about the Epstein files? And so to try and make this, try to switch this around and spin this to somehow be the Democrats' fault for it not being, for these not being released earlier is just so disingenuous. And Donald Trump has not wanted to do this because he's in them so much. He's like the number one person in these files, in all these emails, all the stuff that they have. Donald Trump is first and foremost in it. He's so he's up to his neck, up to his eyeballs in it. So but this is going to be his undoing, and so it's good that we're talking about it. We need to keep the story out there. All right, guys. Yeah, thanks for being here. Thanks to the mods, Jolie and Aaron, we being at full mod capacity. Thank you so much. You guys are awesome. Couldn't do it without you. I couldn't keep this motley crew in line without you. No, but you guys are a pretty good group, actually. But thanks for being here. Just looking down at the chat real quick, like. Yeah, Gino said COVID also shifted our priorities. Yeah, we were kind of busy trying to bring down that 4,000 people a day that were dying when Biden took over, in which he did get the numbers down pretty quick. He turned COVID around pretty quickly, actually, within, a couple of years, but those numbers started dropping once Biden started getting the jabs into everyone's arms and efficiently and quickly. I just said jabs because I don't know, just to be funny, I guess. All right, guys. I guess that's it. I know Tough Cookie is itching to get in here. I just want to say real quick though, thank you guys for being here. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. I believe we are one person shy of 4,200. We need one. Could we get one person to subscribe to get us to 4,200? We're right there at the cusp of 4,200. So let's get us over that little hump. And again, thank you guys so much. Tough Cookie, did you have something to say? He's over there like chomping up the bit. Yeah, I got something to say.
Release the goddamn Epstein files already. Jesus H. Christ, what's going on with you people? In Cookie Land, we don't put up with that shit. If there's a pedophile or anyone like that in our group, they go back to the oven. Hey, did you guys see my new video with the birds? That was crazy, huh? Wasn't that wild? Anyhow, thanks for being here, guys. You guys are awesome, though. I just wanted to say a quick hello, quick shout out to everybody, and thanks for all the support of the show. That's all I got. I just wanted to say hi real quick. That's it, man. Yeah, me too, guys. And I want to say I hope Trucker John runs for the House Representatives. I think that'd be great. So I'm all for it, Trucker John. I'll vote. You got my vote, Trucker John, for sure. I hope you guys will vote for him too. I mean, if you live here, most of you don't live here, but you can. Once we get the campaign up and running, there'll be all kinds of ways to support the campaign. And thank you guys very much for being here. And as Sugar John said, hit that subscribe button if you would. For all the purple power. For purple power. Do it for the purple power. Hit that sub button. Subscribe, share, all that good stuff. If you would. And I'll talk to you guys later. All right, Paul the Purple Beard Guy. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Appreciate you coming into the show and saying hello to everybody. Now, the only thing left to do is the old words of wisdom. So if you guys want to get, for those of you that like to write these down and make a little book out of it, this is when we get the pad and the paper out. So go ahead and do that. Are you guys ready? Are you ready for it? Okay. So for today's words of wisdom, as follows, just remember,
well, it's time to say goodbye. The show has come to an end. But don't be sad, no, don't you cry. We're all gonna come back and meet again. Have some fun times, hopefully nothing too bad. We might talk about war crimes, might talk about Baghdad. I doubt we'll talk about door chimes, but if we did, I'd be only too glad. So hasta la vista, baby. The show is over, but could I ask you maybe to take a shower? No, that's not what I meant, but I couldn't think of anything to rhyme with over. Now my whole rhyming scheme is all screwed up. Oh shit, I should have stuck to truck driving, who I tried to kid. At least when I was out there driving, I could handle a skid, but doing this live stream, baby, has been a real kid. So I hope to see y'all again right here on the Trucker John live stream. We're gonna do it again and again, right here in the Trucker John live stream. Yeah, the Trucker John live stream. We're gonna come back and do it all again. No, this ain't no dream. This is where we win, right here on the Trucker John live stream. No, this time to say goodbye. The show is coming in. But don't be sad, no, don't you cry. We're all gonna come back and meet again. Rolling down the highway in my rusty old rig. I'm a retired trucker, but my spirit's still big. Living in Vegas, where the lights never sleep. Broadcasting my thoughts for the world to keep. From politics to pop culture, I've got it all. Sharing my views, no matter how big or small. Talking about food, the movies and bugs. Shining a light on all the social issues. No shows, I've driven through the desert, seen the city so bright. But now I'm living in a different kind of fight. From my apartment in Las Vegas, I hold the key, exploring the world through my live stream for free. My apartment in Las Vegas, I hold the key, exploring the world through my live stream for free. So you wanna take a trip down Paradise Road, but it ain't that pretty, it ain't paved with gold. Everybody's got the dirty little secrets, everybody's got some things unknown. But if you ain't real careful, baby, it'll cut you down to the bone. Under all those bright lights, you've gotta learn to ignore the glitter. It's all about fight or flight, and you don't wanna do either. So go on down to Paradise Road, it'll make you wish that you were young. But all it'll do is make you feel old and regret trading in your love for us. It's all just a big charade, it's all just one big game, and it ain't about love. It's all about the thrills, it's about staying in the hunt, it's about going in for the kill. So head on down to Paradise Road, that's where your friends are now. They're the people that nobody knows, so go ahead and make your big show. So live it up on Paradise Road, just don't let anyone know. It'll be your dirty little secret, it'll be your guilty little pleasure. Living a secret that the whole world sees, hiding in plain sight among the scum and the thieves. It's so damn hard to ever be pleased. Everyone wants to live the good life, everybody wants a piece of paradise. But where would you run? Where would you hide? What would you do to buy a little more time? Grandiose dreams of happily ever after are really just another day's end. And when the sun goes down, you just lay there wondering, can you really do it all again? You're praying for one last shot, you're hoping for one last big win. Paradise Road is calling, so you better hurry along. Paradise Road is calling, so you better hurry along.
Show's over. I'm out of here, folks. Bye. See you later.
Yes! 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 Woo! The Dodgers won! The Dodgers won! Yes! Yes! Woo-hoo-hoo! Dodgers won the World Series! Woo! Yeah! Yeah! Yeah, Clayton, yeah! Woo-hoo-hoo! Oh my God! Oh my God, that was the most amazing World Series ever. Dodgers!